1, 2.
Hi, I'm Frankie. Welcome back to my fuck show, Frankie Answers Questions. This is finger f***ing good. Unfortunately, this video is not sponsored by KFC. If you would like to sponsor our video, please contact us. For the rest of you, if you like my video, ring the bell and click the subscribe button. Okay? Question? Where's my question? Okay. Oi! Let's get straight into our first question. New COVID-19 cases seems to be increasing globally. How should I invest? The new wave of COVID-19 is scary because the vaccines that we have today are less effective against the mutated variant. A top scientist in the UK has given warning on lifting restrictions on 21st of June because of this. Even Taiwan, a country that was seen to win against the virus last year, saw new daily cases rise more than 100 a day, and the number is increasing. Japan, the world's third largest economy, has come to a decision to expand the lockdown beyond Tokyo and Greater Osaka region as daily new cases hit record high. Still want to do Tokyo Olympic Games in August? Having said that, while the world sees a rise in COVID-19 cases, in the US, the curve is flattening. They are expected to reopen the business this summer, but if they are not careful, they may contract the virus again and push them back into a lockdown.
If you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask.
What was the question? How should I invest in this new wave? If the world economy goes down due to the new wave of COVID-19 surge, the market will react by shifting to consumer staple-related stocks. Why? Friend, what you can do in a lockdown besides baking, cooking, and ordering food delivery? Things that are surrounding these activities are defensive in nature, so that's where investors would focus their attention on. Things like telco, utilities, e-commerce, healthcare, they are all good sectors to shield against this volatility in the market. Does it mean glove counters will rally again? Why you always think I'm a feng shui master? If I know the answer, I won't be doing this anymore lah. Can buy glove stocks? You see? Okay lah, let me answer you this question. The answer is can. In fact, nobody stops you from buying anything in the stock market. Actually, don't you think it is tiring chasing stocks like that every day? This kind of chasing is what makes you lose money even though you invest in a solid business. The thing is, without the pandemic, the glove sector grows around 8 to 10% organically, which is a solid business itself. Now, with the pandemic and the new norm, this number is probably going to bump up a little bit higher. Using that number to forecast that profitability of those glove counters would be a much better strategy over the long run, instead of just buying and selling following noises in the market. How is this new wave going to affect the global economy? Let's see what history has taught us. During the Spanish flu pandemic in the 1920s, the world lost 1.2% of its population. Real GDP per capita was reduced by 6% and private consumption by 8%. In that period, economic activities were down. At the same time, there was an inflation. Now, does that sound familiar to you? The combination of low economic activities and high inflation resulted in large declines in the real returns on stocks and also short-term government bonds. In short, this led to the famous market crash, the Great Depression. That looks like where we are heading to. But before you go into all-out panic, I'm not saying that we are doomed. Things are actually better today. Today, we have better medical technology which helped create a vaccine for COVID-19 in just a year's time. Learning from the past, controlling the spread of virus should be the priority to prevent history repeating itself. But things are getting complicated. Vaccines cannot keep up with the virus mutation. We have a portion of the world population who are vaccinated think that they are invincible. Governments can't wait to lift movement restriction as economy weakens. Governments know this, but on one hand, if they continue the lockdown, GDP will be affected and it will be an economic disaster. And on the other hand, if they open up the economy, the virus is going to spread. This is a difficult decision to make. So no country really has a solution to this. Malaysia has a plan. Alright? We pray
The coconut nut is a giant nut.
Do you think Israel and Palestine will go to war? How is it going to affect investments? I thought we are talking about COVID-19 today, but anyways, let me take this question. These two countries have been fighting for the longest time. Although it seems impossible, but I really hope both sides cease fire and don't start a war. During a wartime, there are companies who will benefit, especially those that manufacture weapons. But then, we should not make profits from people suffering. Given Israel just named Malaysia, will this add on to the economic impact in Malaysia? This question is a little bit odd. Malaysia does not maintain a formal diplomatic relationship with Israel, so the impact is generally neutral. Having said that, Israel is threatening to launch an attack on Malaysia. Our Home Ministry has since stepped up security control in all aspects to defend public order and the safety of the nation. Hashtag World Peace. I'm afraid that this round the stock market will crash completely. Should I exit totally and just keep cash? I know many seasoned investors who would minimize their exposure when they sense jittery in the stock market. Why? Cash is king. As an investor, you need to have bullets to strike when opportunity arises. Nothing beats the heartache of seeing opportunities there but not able to take action. But the problem is, we cannot time the market. We don't have a crystal ball to predict the market direction. If we sold too early, we may miss out gains. If we sold too late, we'll feel ugh. Therefore, some people actually park their money in defensive sectors. Things like utilities, telco, blah blah blah, you know, things that we discussed earlier just now, to wait for a new catalyst to reposition their portfolio. I'm not an investor. How is stock market crash going to affect me? A market downturn affects everybody, so don't think that you are spared from this chaos if it happens. Whether you are an investor or not, you are still making a living as an employee or a business owner. As a business owner, you may lose your hard-built business empire. If you're an employee, you may lose your job. And that's what happened during the 1997 Asian financial crisis. It affected everyone. So don't think it's none of your business just because you don't invest. And to make it worse, we are facing inflation due to quantitative easing. Imagine losing your job while things are getting expensive. That's a double whammy. Is there anything our governments can do to help us? I think the government should focus on domestic consumption to drive the economy because we are seeing many major economies becoming more inclusive. For example, the US is promoting things that are made in America and slapping imports with high tariffs. Reliance on manufacturing exports as the main economic driver can be very risky. You never know when the US decides to impose some sort of barrier to import Malaysian products. Remember Top Glove? More importantly, I believe our government should help the people to reskill and upskill like what Singapore is doing. We need policies to encourage entrepreneurship. That should be the way forward. To nurture high value-added industries such as Gojek in Indonesia, Shopee in Singapore, and Grab in Malaysia. Sorry, Grab went to Singapore already. So, come to think of it, Malaysia don't even have one unicorn. Well, that's all we have for today. Hashtag FAQ.